We are a species addicted to stimulation, endless novelty, infinite scroll. But behind the likes, the dopamine spikes, there's a system collapsing. Not all at once, but one tap at a time, one reel, one swipe, one hit of the slot machine we call social media. This is the dopamine trap, and almost everyone you know is stuck in it, especially the ones who think they're not. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's about pursuit, about motivation, about craving the next thing, even before the current one ends. As Dr. Anna Lembke explains in Dopamine Nation, the brain doesn't seek balance, it seeks survival through imbalance. That means when dopamine surges, pain follows. Not metaphorical pain, biological pain, because the brain wants to level things out. So after every high comes a low. Let's break it down scientifically. The mesolimbic pathway, sometimes called the reward pathway, is the main circuit where dopamine acts like a fuel. It starts in the ventral tegmental area, runs through the nucleus accumbens, and ends in the prefrontal cortex, where decisions, attention, and impulse control live. It's not just for drugs, it's activated by chocolate, by a ping on your phone, by a new like, by that perfect thumbnail, by the suggestion YouTube just served you based on your last 10 videos. This is algorithmic addiction, and the drug is your own biology. Dopamine isn't just a pleasure chemical, it's a motivation molecule, a signal that something is worth pursuing. But the problem isn't dopamine itself, it's how we're hacking it over and over until the entire system breaks down. Let's walk through what actually happens in the brain when you're caught in a dopamine trap. Inside your skull is a network called the mesolimbic pathway, the so-called reward circuit. It connects the ventral tegmental area to the nucleus accumbens, the amygdala, and the prefrontal cortex. When you experience a reward, dopamine is released into this circuit, reinforcing the behavior. That's normal, that's evolution. But modern life has introduced supernormal stimuli. Porn, ultra-processed food, endless scrolling, video games with reward loops designed by behavioral psychologists. Dr. Anna Lembke from Stanford calls this dopamine overload and warns that our repeated exposure to high dopamine stimuli creates a deficit state over time. Here's what she means. When dopamine floods your reward system, the brain responds by pulling back. It literally starts reducing the number of receptors available or making them less sensitive in an effort to maintain balance. This is called dopamine downregulation, and it's the same mechanism seen in substance abuse. Your brain starts to adapt. It expects massive highs and stops responding to normal rewards. A walk in nature, a real conversation, a slow earned goal, they barely move the needle anymore because the system is desensitized. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky explains this in brutal clarity. The anticipation of reward, not the reward itself, is what drives behavior. What does that mean? It means you're not addicted to the cookie, you're addicted to the chase, the possibility of novelty, the potential for a hit. That's why you open Instagram and scroll for 45 minutes without even enjoying it. You're chasing a neurological dragon that never lands. And it gets worse. Over time, your baseline dopamine levels drop. This is called the dopamine baseline collapse, a term coined by Dr. Andrew Huberman. It means that your day-to-day motivation, your ability to focus, your drive to do hard things, all suffer. In extreme cases, this creates symptoms identical to clinical depression, but caused entirely by lifestyle. Let that sink in. You can chemically mimic depression through nothing but your daily habits. We're not just rewiring the brain, we're strangling it. And here's the twist that most people miss. You don't need drugs to be an addict. You just need a brain exposed to novelty on repeat without discipline. Dopamine is not evil. It's the compass, but we've broken the magnet. Let me tell you a story. A guy we'll call Mike, 27 years old, smart, funny, no real vices except for the kind no one sees. Mike wakes up and checks TikTok in bed. 40 minutes later, he hasn't moved. He skips breakfast, throws on a hoodie, and goes to work. Halfway through his first email, he opens a new tab. Reddit, dopamine hit. Lunchtime, Uber Eats, a dopamine delivery system. Afternoon slump, energy drink, hit. YouTube, hit. Fantasy football stats, stats, hit, hit, hit. By the time he gets home, his brain is fried. But he's not tired, not sleepy, not focused, not alive, just numb. So he grabs his phone again, scrolls, eats something sweet, watches porn. His brain flooded, then empty, then flooded again. This is the loop, and Mike lived inside it for years. Here's what finally broke it. He hit a day where nothing felt good. He won a small freelance award and felt nothing. His favorite show released a new season and he couldn't finish the first episode. Even junk food made him nauseous. It wasn't reward anymore. It was punishment. He finally admitted it. I can't feel anything unless it's extreme. That sentence hit hard because it's the definition of a hijacked dopamine system. So Mike quit everything cold turkey. Social media, porn, junk food. He even took a week off caffeine. The first few days were hell. He described it like withdrawal, brain fog, no energy, irritability, zero motivation. But on day 7, something happened. He went for a walk and felt joy. He had a conversation with a friend and it felt real. He read a book and remembered every word. His dopamine system was healing. 3 weeks later, Mike was still rebuilding. He wasn't perfect, but he was clear. No more mindless loops. No more phantom hits. He rebuilt his brain by removing the noise and letting silence speak. Dopamine used to be reserved for rare wins, a successful hunt, a fertile crop, a child born healthy. Now, you can flood your brain with dopamine in bed, at work, on the toilet, no cost, no delay, no friction, just tap. The result? Your baseline drops. You need more to feel the same. Less novelty, more boredom. You start switching tasks every 10 seconds. Your brain starts panicking if there's a moment of stillness. You stop finishing books, stop having deep conversations, stop thinking for yourself. You chase, but feel nothing when you catch. Dr. Nora Volkow, director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, has shown that overstimulation leads to dopamine downregulation. Your receptors become less sensitive. They shrink. They retreat. This is the biology of numbness. Your brain turns down the volume because it can't handle the noise. If you've ever felt like you're living in a fog, if you've ever closed TikTok or Instagram and felt worse, not better, you're not broken. You're running a brain built for scarcity inside an ecosystem of excess. But there's a way out, and it doesn't require quitting technology, just reclaiming control. Let's walk through the dopamine recovery protocol, inspired by Huberman, Lemke, and hard-earned experience. Step 1, dopamine audit. Track your triggers. What are the things that spike your craving? Is it your phone, your email, caffeine, porn? Write them down. Not to judge, to become aware. The trap only works when you're blind to it. Step 2, dopamine fast. This doesn't mean cutting everything out forever. It means taking a short, intentional reset, usually 24 to 72 hours. No sugar, no scrolling, no instant gratification. Boredom is the point. When you remove the noise, your brain begins to recalibrate. Step 3, replace. Don't just remove. You can't fight dopamine with willpower alone. You need new inputs. Harder, but deeper ones. Long walks, cold plunges, learning something complex, like chess, or coding, or cooking without your phone. These restore natural dopamine cycles because they require effort before reward. Step 4, friction wins. Make bad habits harder. Move apps off your home screen. Turn your phone grayscale. Use website blockers. Set screen limits. As Naval Ravikant puts it, make the good path easy and the bad path hard. Step 5, anchor to mornings. Your first dopamine hit sets the tone for your day. If it's Instagram, your brain learns to chase. If it's sunlight, cold exposure, breath work, a walk, you build momentum the right way. Huberman's protocol recommends morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking and delaying caffeine by at least 90 minutes to stabilize adenosine. Step 6, move your body without a screen. Exercise increases dopamine sensitivity, not just dopamine levels. It makes your receptors come back online. And when you train without stimulation, no music, no podcast, no pre-workout, you teach your brain to find joy in effort itself. Step 7, long-form focus. Rebuild your ability to focus by practicing focus. Read physical books. Journal by hand. Do deep work in 50-minute blocks. This isn't just productive, it's therapy for the modern mind. Most people will never do this because most people think they're already fine. But look around. Can you go 10 minutes without your phone? Can you sit in a room alone and feel peace? Or are you filling every gap, every silence with stimulation? Neuroendocrinologist Robert Sapolsky reminds us, animals in nature get dopamine spikes only when they anticipate reward, not from the reward itself. We've hacked that loop. We get the spike without the substance, and then we wonder why nothing feels good anymore. But your brain isn't broken. It's adaptable, plastic, capable of change. Within 7 to 14 days of dopamine recalibration, you begin to feel again. Joy returns, curiosity returns, presence returns. You don't need to escape technology. You need to stop being enslaved by it. You don't need a digital detox. You need a dopamine discipline. Because the trap is real, but so is the exit. And it starts when you stop chasing the next hit and start choosing the next moment.